A true problem-solving master.
Yeah, before the break, we were talking about the importance of creating a blame-free culture
Right.
where people feel safe to kind of speak up and share their insights.
Yes.
But how do we actually make that happen, especially in those high-pressure environments where mistakes can feel like, you know, a really big deal?
Yeah, you've hit on a key point there. Building this culture of psychological safety where people feel comfortable admitting mistakes without, fear of punishment
Yeah.
is absolutely crucial for effective RCA. Without it, people might be tempted to hide information, point fingers, or just avoid taking risks altogether,
Right.
which defeats the whole purpose of RCA.
So how do we create this magical land of no blame? It sounds great in theory, but I imagine it's pretty challenging to actually implement in like real life workplaces.
You're right, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It takes a conscious effort from everyone,
Hmm.
especially those in leadership positions.
Okay.
It starts with modeling the behaviors you want to see in others.
Right.
If leaders are open about their own mistakes, focus on learning rather than punishment, and genuinely value feedback, even, critical feedback,
Hmm.
it sets a powerful example for the rest of the team.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, actions speak louder than words.
Uh-huh.
It's one thing to say you want a blame-free culture, but it's another to actually walk the walk.
Exactly. Leaders need to demonstrate that they trust their team to make decisions, learn from their experiences, and contribute to solutions,
Right.
even when things go wrong.
And that probably involves creating systems and processes that support this kind of open communication, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like having clear channels for reporting problems and encouraging people to speak up when they see something that could be improved, even if it's like a small thing.
Absolutely. It's about shifting the mindset from don't make mistakes
Yeah.
to let's learn from everything that happens, both good and bad.
So it's not about ignoring mistakes or pretending they don't happen.
No.
It's about seeing them as opportunities to learn and improve.
Precisely. When you approach mistakes with curiosity rather than judgment, you can start to uncover those valuable insights that might otherwise be hidden.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all ties together.
Yeah?
By creating a culture of psychological safety and open communication, you're essentially setting the stage for effective RCA to take place.
Yes.
People feel comfortable sharing information, admitting mistakes, and working together to find solutions without fear of being punished for being honest.
Right. And it's not just about preventing future failures.
Huh.
This kind of environment can also foster innovation.
Oh, interesting.
When people feel safe to experiment and take risks, they're more likely to come up with, creative solutions and drive continuous improvement.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like creating a fertile ground for new ideas to kind of sprout and grow.
Yes,
But I imagine this kind of cultural shift doesn't happen overnight, right?
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It takes time and insistent effort to build trust, shift mindsets, and create a culture where people truly feel safe to be vulnerable and honest. But the payoff is enormous.
Yeah.
Organizations with strong cultures of psychological safety tend to be more innovative, productive, and resilient in the face of, challenges.
As we're talking about all this, I'm realizing that effective RCA isn't just about analyzing data and finding root causes.
Right.
It's also about like understanding human behavior,
Yes.
building relationships, and creating a culture where people feel valued and respected,
Yes.
even when they mess up.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Effective RCA is inherently human-centered.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that people are at the heart of every system, and that by understanding their motivations, behaviors, and the context in which they make decisions, we can create more effective solutions that benefit everyone.
This is reminding me of that concept we touched on earlier, work as imagined versus work as done.
Right.
We often create procedures and systems based on how we think things should work in a perfect world. But in reality, things are often much messier.
Exactly. And that's where the human element comes in.
Right.
We need to understand how people actually work, what their challenges are, and how we can design systems that support them rather than set them up for failure.
Right.
Good RCA helps bridge that gap between the ideal and the real, creating a more accurate picture of what's actually happening on the ground.
So it's not just about analyzing what went wrong, it's about understanding the context in which it went wrong and why the decisions that led to the problem made sense to the people involved, at the time.
Right. It's about seeing the world through their eyes, empathizing with their situation, and then using that understanding to create more effective solutions.
And I imagine this is where having a diverse team of people involved in the RCA process can be really valuable, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Different perspectives can help you uncover those blind spots and see the problem from like multiple angles.
Absolutely. Diversity of thought, experience, and background is crucial for effective RCA.
Yeah.
You want people who can challenge assumptions, ask tough questions, and bring different perspectives to the table.
And you know what else is really interesting? This whole conversation about RCA and human behavior makes me think about the potential of technology to actually enhance those human-centered aspects of the process.
That's a fascinating point.
Yeah.
We're often told that technology is replacing human jobs and making things less personal. But in the context of RCA, it could actually help us understand human behavior even better.
Exactly. Imagine using data analytics and AI to identify patterns in human behavior,
Yes.
understand the factors that contribute to errors, and even predict potential problems before they occur.
And not in a creepy Big Brother kind of way,
Right.
but in a way that helps us design systems that are more intuitive, user-friendly, and supportive of human needs.
Right. For example, you could use AI to analyze past RCA data and identify those recurring issues that are often rooted in, human error. Then you could use those insights to like design training programs, update procedures, or even redesign the workspace to make it easier for people to do their jobs safely and effectively.
And think about the potential of tools like ChatGPT in the RCA process.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine being able to ask ChatGPT to analyze a complex problem, explore different perspectives, or even brainstorm potential solutions.
Right.
It could be like having a superpowered research assistant working alongside you,
Uh-huh.
helping you to think more critically and creatively about the problem at hand.
Yeah, it's almost like having a digital version of that diverse team we were just talking about, bringing all those different perspectives and insights to the table.
Exactly. And it's not about replacing human judgment or expertise.
Right.
It's about augmenting our abilities and making the RCA process even more effective and insightful.
So technology can actually help us to be more human-centered in our approach to problem solving rather than less.
That's the idea.
That's pretty cool.
By leveraging the power of technology, we can gain a deeper understanding of human behavior, design more supportive systems, and ultimately create a more reliable, efficient, and human-friendly world.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together. The human element, the systems thinking, the role of technology, and the importance of creating a culture that supports learning and improvement. But as we're nearing the end of our deep dive, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how this all connects back to that original question we posed. How do we create lasting change, not just solve one problem at a time?
That's a great question. And it brings us to one of the most critical aspects of a robust RCA system, knowledge management.
Okay.
We've talked about the importance of learning from mistakes,
Yeah.
but that learning is only valuable if it's, captured and shared effectively.
So it's not just about solving one problem and moving on to the next.
Yeah.
It's about building a repository of knowledge that can help prevent similar problems from happening in the future. Right?
Exactly. Think of it like building a library of lessons learned.
Right.
Each RCA you conduct adds another book to the shelves,
Right.
filled with valuable insights and recommendations that can be used to, improve processes, train new employees, and make the entire organization more resilient.
And this is where technology can play a really important role, right?
Of course.
We can use digital tools to store, organize, and analyze all that data, making it easier to access and share those insights across the organization.
Precisely. A centralized knowledge database allows you to do some pretty amazing things.
Yeah.
You can identify trends and patterns across multiple RCAs, see which types of problems are most common, and even use AI to surface relevant past findings that could apply to a current situation.
It's like having a search engine for all your past RCA learnings.
Exactly.
So instead of starting from scratch every time a new problem pops up, you can tap into the collective wisdom of the organization and see if someone has already, solved a similar problem.
Exactly. And this can save a ton of time, money, and effort.
Right.
Remember that statistic we mentioned earlier that the average cost of a formal RCA is estimated at like $25,000?
Oh, yeah.
Think of all the resources you could save if you're not constantly reinventing the wheel every time a similar problem occurs.
Okay, I'm seeing the value of this knowledge management piece.
Yeah.
It's not just about solving problems in isolation. It's about creating a system where those learnings are captured, shared, and used to continuously improve the organization as a whole.
Right, and it's not just about preventing failures.
Yeah.
It's also about identifying opportunities for innovation.
Oh, okay.
By analyzing past RCAs, you might discover patterns or trends that suggest areas where you can improve efficiency, optimize processes, or even create entirely new products or services.
So knowledge management is like the fuel that keeps the RCA engine running.
Yes.
It ensures that the learning never stops and that the organization is constantly evolving and adapting to new challenges.
And it's a key part of creating that culture of continuous improvement we've been talking about.
Right.
When people see that their insights are valued
Mhm.
and that their contributions are being used to make things better, they're more likely to engage in the RCA process and contribute their knowledge.
This has been such an insightful conversation.
It has.
I'm starting to see RCA in a whole new light, not just as a tool for fixing things that are broken, but as a framework for understanding how things work, learning from our experiences, and creating a more reliable, efficient, and human-centered world.
I like that.
But before we wrap things up, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on one last question that's been lingering in my mind.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about the benefits of RCA for organizations, but what about for individuals?
Right.
How can we apply these principles in our personal lives to become, better problem solvers and create positive change?
That's a fantastic question,
Yeah,
and one that deserves a deep dive of its own.
right.
We've covered so much ground already today, but perhaps we can circle back to that in a future episode
Okay.
and explore how to apply these powerful principles in a more personal context.
I love that idea.
Yeah,
It would be fascinating to explore how those same concepts like systems thinking, root cause analysis, and blame-free learning can help us tackle those, personal challenges we all face. Whether it's breaking a bad habit, improving our relationships, or just, navigating the complexities of everyday life.
absolutely. Because ultimately, whether we're talking about organizations or individuals, the goal is the same: to create lasting change, build resilience, and achieve greater success by understanding the root causes of our problems and designing better systems for ourselves and the world around us.
So stay tuned for our next episode where we'll be taking a deep dive into the personal side of RCA and exploring how these powerful principles can help you become a true problem-solving ninja.